Welcome to Around the Kinky Campfire podcast. This is your host, the Cuddle Gigolo, aka El Comidon, aka Mango Boogies, but also known officially as H.H. Julius, your entertainment creative. I'm here with Miss Rue, our education guru, and our goal in this podcast is to destigmatize the taboo topics of kink, non-monogamy, and BDSM. We like to educate through awareness and with our experiences, and we are not certified professionals as of yet. So our non-judgmental topics, with a dash of facts, are to be taken mostly as entertainment and with, some slice of life anecdotal stories. Your opinions, lifestyles, and or way of thinking may not be in alignment with ours, but your opinion, lifestyle, way of thinking is also okay as well. And the fact that you have an opinion is valid. We're not here to change your minds. We are here just to provide a different point of view. Please join us every second and fourth Thursdays of every month, and our episodes are uploaded to all major platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, etc., etc. Please look forward to this coming episode, as it will start shortly, and make sure to especially pay attention to our ASR Minute, which will start very soon. In editing in post.
Yes.
Here we go. We're back. This is the campfire that is kinky, that is all around, and we do the bonfire and we tell the stories around the kinky campfire. This is me. I am your host, but I'll go second because I got something funny for you.
Okay. This is Rue.
And this is Corporal John McBurney.
What is that?
I will tell you. Have you heard? We're going to take a straight tangent right off the bat.
Okay.
Right off the bat, Kinksters.
Yeah.
Have you heard of a guy named Clint Eastwood?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Do you know he was in a movie called The Beguiled in 1971?
I did not.
Campsters, this is going to be funny. So I'm going to play, since we're YouTubing this episode, we're doing not a reaction. It's not really a reaction. But anyways, I'm taking us straight off into a tangent. This is a clip from The Beguiled, 1971, starring Clint Eastwood. This was actually in the movie.
Okay.
Here you go. Let's see. Here we go. You guys can hear it now.
Amelia, but everybody calls me Amy.
I'm Corporal John McBurney, but everybody calls me McB. How old are you, Amy?
12. 13 in September.
Old enough for kisses.
No, he did not. Why are you showing me this?
That was in a movie
Why?
in 1971. Can you believe that?
Why are we talking about this?
So random. But anyways, let's have Corporal John McBurney.
No. Stop it.
Yo, that was in a movie.
That doesn't mean we have to perpetuate it.
We're not perpetuating it. Just call me Big B. But
No. I will not.
Oh my God. Okay, you can call me official name H.H. Julius for this episode.
Okay.
Julius. But yes, can you believe that was in a movie?
That's horrible. Why are you showing this to me?
That
Why
was
are
in
we
a movie.
talking about this?
It's so random.
People, don't do that. Don't do that.
That was in a movie. That's what they showed us back then.
There's a lot of things in movies, but that doesn't mean we have to keep bringing it up.
But it was in a movie. They did that back then.
Yeah, that's horrible.
I know. We got to stop that. So, we're going to get back on topic. We're going to bring that up later at a different time. Talk about that stuff. Because there are people out there. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Anyways, we are here at the Kinky Campfire.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, we got to
say what we're drinking.
Oh, I am having a Dos Equis ranch water spicy grapefruit.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored. But we would be sponsored eventually.
It's pretty damn good.
You know, White Claw has a vodka now.
Really?
And they're sponsoring people.
Hey.
Yeah.
I mean, I drink vodka.
Well, you drink a lot of stuff.
I drink the seltzers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they have a vodka now.
Okay.
And of course, they're doing the vodka soda thing now, like high noons and stuff.
Yeah.
And then
they're healthier for you.
Yeah. They got the peanut butter. What's that?
My peanut butter whiskey?
Yeah, they do sponsors too.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, there's a couple of brandies and stuff that do podcast sponsors and stuff like that.
I like my peanut butter whiskey.
Oh,
Screwball.
my God.
I like
Screwball.
my
Yeah,
I do.
Hey, not sponsored, but we will take it.
Yes, I would.
And I am drinking a Vizzy raspberry tangerine.
Those are good too.
And now it's time for our favorite
here
minutes.
we go.
Come on, you join me.
No.
Spicy grapefruit.
Spicy grapefruit. Not doing it. It's right in my earbone. I sent you one person's ASMR video on TikTok one time, and now she constantly shows up on my feed.
Yes, that's how the algorithm works. It's called the algorithm. We can talk about it now. ASMR. Guess what? It'll be on your Facebook.
It's going to be on my Facebook.
It's going to be on your Facebook now.
I know.
That was actually a thing, by the way. Another random tangent. There was a lawsuit for Facebook because if you have the Facebook chat on your phone, even if you have it not turned on, it listens.
Weird.
Yes, you just have it on your phone and it listens. The speaker is on if you have the app on your phone.
That's weird.
Yeah. So there was a lawsuit for that because people, you turn it off, you don't have it on, but it's still listening. So that's why if you have the chat on your phone, it shows up in your feed because it's listening.
It's listening.
So there was a lawsuit against that.
Okay. I still can't believe you showed me that clip of that video. That's ridiculous. It's so disturbing.
Yeah.
I love Clint Eastwood. I can't believe it. Well, I mean,
That's Clint Eastwood.
The actor had to have been over 18 for him to do that. So they might have
Not in 1971.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah.
Don't ruin it.
Oh God, we're gonna go through that too because there's a lot of those in those times. Like
I don't consent to this.
Ooh. Yeah, there's stuff like that.
It's
we could talk about
disgusting.
Clint Eastwood too because that Gran Torino movie actually had some like real life ramifications. Did you ever watch Gran Torino?
No.
Oh God, yeah, we can do some clips out of that too because Clint Eastwood he's got some opinions and biases out there.
So moving on.
We can talk about Robert De Niro.
Let's not.
The man's like 70 something. He's got a child.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Well, I mean,
He's so old. Okay. Anyway, this actually, speaking of which, this tangentially has a correlation to what we're talking about. But for our podcast, let's explain why we do this thing because we didn't do that in the last episode. Why we do podcasts.
why we do podcasts?
Yes, it is because we want to destigmatize. We want to make it not. Okay? The stuff we talk about, and you can agree with me or not, because it's been a long time since we talked about this.
Like the first couple episodes.
Yeah, it's been a
Back
while.
in the day,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're still doing this. The group changed, but we're still doing this. So we are making the taboo untaboo, making non-monogamy things because they don't teach, well, not because non-monogamy, but the reason why we're doing this is they don't teach fucking sexual education in the schools anymore. It's ridiculous.
No, they teach it on YouTube now.
Yeah, so yeah, we're doing that, and then there's people on YouTube that are,
Getting it wrong.
getting it wrong in our opinion, So you don't have to listen to us, but you're going to get our opinion either way. Miss Rue's going to be factual. I'll be entertaining. It'll be some truth
Be
in there.
entertaining.
You can be entertaining, but I said mostly factual. So I'm going to be like 80% entertaining and maybe like 10% truthful, and then the other 10% something else. She's going to be more truthful than I am going to be. I focus on entertainment value because, you got to keep people focused in on and wanting to listen. I'm not going to be talking about anybody specifically. I don't shit talk, but there's some people that are just very dry. They're very truthful, But goddamn, it feels like a monologue or something that they're just talking. So I will inject some entertainment in this because I understand, there's nerds out there. They like to talk and share their information, but you gotta be a little bit entertaining with it. So that is my focus. I'm trying to be entertaining, and from what I've seen,
not off-putting.
I don't care
or
about that.
Or controversial.
I don't care about that. You listen.
Care
You know what? You actually reminded me.
Yeah.
We're gonna do another tangent right now.
Oh God.
Controversial.
Okay.
Why are you all godding? That's the whole point of podcasts. They always go on tangents.
Okay.
That's a part of the podcast. Okay. Controversy.
Okay.
How do you feel about it in general?
Controversy?
Controversy, controversial. Because for me, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be
I need
controversial.
Context.
Yes. Yeah, you give me the context sign. Okay, because it's random. Controversial. I am not trying to be controversial, but my view is...
You can't say but. You know what they say about but?
But go on horses or something?
No. Every time you make a statement.
Yes.
And you use the word but, you've completely contradicted everything that you've said up to that point.
That's good because I'm talking about controversy. So
I'm just saying. That's why you can't ever say but. You can say however.
However.
And then, because it'd be like, you know what? That's a really pretty shirt you have on, but, is it really this season style? Like, it's like the but contradicts everything that you say before.
Are you negging me now? No,
I'm just saying.
You're
I went for your neck, yes.
Yeah, negging. No, negging. You're
negging?
Yeah.
No, I went for your neck.
You're negging. That's a dating term.
That
was in the game.
Young person term.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean my age term. Am I a young person? I'll take that. Thank you. I am a young person. Not. Yeah, that was a very
okay. So controversial.
But I'm gonna be controversial with my controversial statements. Not purposely trying to be. It's intent. It's all about intent. Not trying to be controversial, but I'm going to offend people, and there's no way to not stop that. Even if I tried to be 100% non-controversial, somebody's going to be offended just because I'm talking.
Well, just because people are offended doesn't mean they're right.
Correct. So my point is, I care about 90% that I'm controversial, but I'm not purposely trying to be controversial, but I'm going to offend somebody, so whatever. Okay. If I'm controversial, they can suck it. Don't have to listen. Don't have to download. Don't have to stream. You can go somewhere else.
Okay.
So how do you feel about it?
About controversy?
In general.
I think it's contextual. I think it just, there's a time and place.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you are trying to truly educate people, then you should be as approachable and inclusive as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're just stating opinion to state opinion and to debate, then it's to your comfort level. How much, don't dish out what you can't take.
Correct.
So to me, it's what's the purpose of the conversation? Am I actually trying to educate people and trying to put information out there for the masses? Then I don't want to be controversial because then the message gets lost in the delivery. But if it's up for debate and we're just bullshitting and we're not trying to truly educate for educational purposes, then, I mean, your skin's as thick as you can take it. So.
Okay. And for the purposes of this podcast, I would say 10%. I found my other 10%. 10%.
Yeah, there it is.
Educator. 80% entertaining because we got to get people in here for the purposes of the podcast. And then 10% probably going to be just controversial. Me, myself, in real life, don't give a fuck if I'm controversial because I have my opinions. You don't have to talk to me. That's
no,
cool.
I tend to care. To me, there's a time and place. If I know that I can be with somebody who's capable of debate and who's capable of banter, then I don't mind being a little controversial with my answers. But if I know that somebody is easily offended or I'm doing this for purely educational purposes, then I tend to be more politically correct and I will monitor what I say.
Ooh.
If I care about the person. If the person who's more sensitive and I really just don't give a shit about them or I don't care where the conversation goes or I don't have like a dog in the race with them, then you get what you get. Like you can be in this conversation as long as you want, and when you're done, you're more than welcome to walk away. But if it's for the masses and it's truly to better people's lives and to teach, then I don't ever want the message to be not heard or misconstrued or any of those things simply because of the delivery.
Okay. So, yeah, this is helpful because I do plan on teaching at some point, so I have to change the different things here. So, in general, so you have Julius on the podcast and probably going to be teaching. My focus is not to be controversial. Also, any form, I don't care about debating. I don't care about being right. If you come talk to me, you're going to get my opinion. Either way. It's going to be more entertaining on the podcast. Probably less. No, it's going to be entertaining if I taught a class, but it's still probably going to be controversial. And I don't really care about whether I offend anybody or not, because me, and I can say this pretty confidently, I don't speak out of turn, and I have no problem not talking. I don't need my opinion to be heard. So unless somebody specifically asks me to do something, I might volunteer for like a class because people don't know. But especially if people ask me for my opinion, then I give it. Really tried hard over the last few months, unsolicited advice. That's really not my thing anymore. There'll be mistakes or whatever, but in general, that's it. So as far as being,
oh no, I'm always the type that'll ask somebody, are you talking to me because you want me to help you, or are you talking to me because you need to get this out and you need a sounding board?
Yeah.
So I'm always very upfront and ask beforehand.
That's a little different because it's like if somebody just wants to rant and something,
then
like,
I can just rant and I won't offer an opinion.
But yeah, as far as if somebody asks me about something, they're going to get my opinion. It's going to be well researched before I speak to anybody. So if you're offended my opinion, then it's my opinion. I don't care.
I'm always open to debate.
Yeah.
And,
See,
and the weird thing about me is I can debate something and not. Here's where I can compartmentalize like a motherfucker. I can debate something with you and not even truly believe in what I'm standing for.
Yeah.
But I just want to see where you're going to go with your beliefs.
Yep. And see me, I don't care to debate.
I love it because people intrigue me. I like to see how they tick and where they're coming from, and I, believe it or not, will learn a lot from people by listening to where they're coming from, because I might not agree with you, but that doesn't mean I'm not walking away learning something.
Correct. Yeah. It's as far as like anything closer to debate is going to be on here on the podcast.
I'll
in real life.
You.
Yeah, that's part of the entertainment value. That's what we do. But yeah, in real life, nobody's going to debate me. I don't care about being right or wrong. I'm giving my opinion. When I debate,
it's not about right or wrong. I tell people all the time, I debate to learn.
So what's your definition of debate exactly?
It's a form of arguing.
Mm-hmm. Usually there's two sides to it.
There's usually two sides to it. Yeah.
Okay.
But if I'm wanting to learn about something, like oh, shit. What do you want to debate? And we'll give an example. We'll do it right here live.
Online dating versus in real life dating.
Yeah, we just talked about that. We're not doing that.
Catch the last episode, Campsters, if you want to hear about that whole debate that we had. We could talk about our controversial thing. Well, and then we also have our segment here that we'll probably be debating on. But yeah, so pickup artists in anime? There's a bunch of things we could debate. Yeah, this is the only time you'll get me debating about something is in the podcast. In real life, this is rough. This is going to be a hot take. I don't give a fuck about people's opinions. You can give me your opinion.
But you do.
No, I don't. You can give me your opinion. If you're a friend, I'll listen to it, but I really don't care. If it's not based on fact, especially. If you're going off of feelings, I don't give a fuck. If you give me a factual statement and then you give me like, this is why I agree with it, this is why I don't agree with it, and then tell me where you got it from, I'll go do my own research and develop my own opinion about it. But I need it based in fact. If you're giving me something based on feelings and it's just your opinion, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Obviously not including partners, because I need to know.
Wow. So they have to be fucking you for you to care about how they feel about
I don't
something.
fuck all my partners. They could be different partners.
Okay.
Demisexual. Rue, I am demisexual.
No, I
can have
understand
non-fucking partners. So yeah, because too many people are like feelings or facts, and I'm like, I just can't do it. I've been online doing research for too long, and then in person at different things. It's like I said, it's gonna be a hot take. I just don't give a fuck. If you're basing it on feelings, where did you learn that from? I don't know. I just feel that way. Nope, I'm out. I am out. I need factual references. And like, if you want to hear my opinion, don't cut yourself with my dull knife.
It's a dull knife.
Don't cut yourself. It's more dangerous than a sharp knife.
A dull knife is more dangerous.
If you're
than
trying
a
to cut
sharp
something,
knife.
I'm not cutting anything. Anyways, I have dull knives from a knife play for reference context.
And I'm over here playing with this very dull knife, and it bothers me that it's dull.
Yes, I don't want to cut anybody. Not into blood play. Anyways, my point is, yeah, that's it. I don't care about being right or wrong. If I say something you don't agree, cool. Take it and go with it. I will provide factual evidence, and then I'll send you the podcast or book or whatever I got it from. It's on you to do your own research. I just don't give a fuck. This is the preferred with you. With you, I would probably be like, hey, this is a thing, and I'll be like, send you the thing. Let me know what you think. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to have a debate outside of this podcast. This is it. I'll debate guests. I'll debate whoever on the podcast. Otherwise, I don't give a fuck.
All right. So what's the first on the agenda today?
Well, you just moved past the topic. We're talking about controversy. Did you say all you wanted about controversial stuff? So,
yeah, because it's situational. For me, it's very situational. People who have attended my classes or attend my roundtables or any of those things know that I'm very open about playing devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. I will play devil's advocate very, very well because I like for people to think about what they're saying. Mm-hmm. And so when people present information in roundtables or, open forum discussions in classes and such, I will ask questions or I will state things just to see what direction they go in to help push where they got this ideology from and if it's good or if it's not good. I don't want to look at them and go, that's a shitty idea. I want to look at them and go, well, okay, so let's think about this. What if this situation came up? You know what I'm saying? Like I want it to be a teaching moment for all of us. Mm-hmm. So,
do they know that it's not your opinion? You just doing devil's advocate?
Sometimes yes and sometimes no.
Okay.
Most people who attend my stuff on a regular basis know what I'm doing because they grin. Because I'll make a joke out of it and I'll be like, so I'm going to play devil's advocate. And they're like, oh, really? Go figure. And so they know I do it a lot.
That's the biggest thing about like spaces that people don't know you or online. They assume that's your opinion. It's like, no,
it's my opinion.
I just gave you a fact. It's on you to do your own research.
Yep. To be perfectly honest with you, if they assume it's my opinion, I'm okay with it because they're just making an assumption. Yes. But the people who really have any experience with me or have had any conversations with me know the difference between me sharing my personal ideology and me playing devil's advocate to spark conversation or to keep conversation going and to move it in a healthy direction. If it's getting a little off skewed. So,
and this is another tangent. We'll go back to the controversy and then talking thing. How do you feel about spaces now that we're, getting out there more? There's going to be people that, don't know you. Mm-hmm. How do you
There's
you
a shit
think?
Ton of people who don't know me.
Yeah. How do you think when they're misinterpreted that way?
Believe it or not, most people will come up to me in person after.
No, these people can't see you in person.
Oh, they can't see me in person. Yeah. Oh, I hope they would reach out to me on Instagram. I mean, I welcome the comments.
There's internet trolls out there. They're just making assumptions.
Now,
she said this. That must be how she does her things.
If it's an internet troll, that doesn't faze me. The online comments don't faze me because if they really truly cared about what I felt or cared about what I said, then they would seek out a conversation. Mm-hmm. So if they're going to just hide behind their keyboards and throw out comments because they have the ability to do it, mm-hmm. I also have the ability to not react and to ignore it.
Yeah, see, I had to learn that very recently, and that's part of the reason why it took me so long to actually do a podcast and be online in general, or even at the, even at you're all right there? Somebody made a face when she took a drink. Yeah, spicy, huh? Spicy grapefruit. Dos Equis. So, even being public in general is the comments out there is rough because my ego is out there, and I have a big thing when people make assumptions. It's like a pet peeve of mine when you don't know any facts about me. Yeah, so teaching classes in person or even with this online thing is, it would be rough for me because, more recently, my ego has gone down. But yeah, that whole thing with like internet trolls and people just making assumptions is like,
Well, see, and I'm okay with it because ultimately these are not people that I have interactions with on a daily basis. These are not people that have any sort of actual impact on my life.
That's hard to learn. That's a skill.
And so because I know this, yeah, I can turn it off. Now, I mean, do I read it? Yeah. Do I care? A little bit, because then, to be honest with you, what I'll do is I'll take that comment and reflect back to what they're referring to and see, could I have said that differently? Or, okay, I see what they're saying. I can see how they interpreted that. They were brave enough to throw it back in my face. Okay, maybe I need to word that a little differently, or I need to rethink how I present this information. So maybe the message got lost in the delivery kind of thing. So I do actually think about what they're referring to but if I can think back to what they're referring to and I'm like, no, that's legitimate, like that, they're just voicing an opinion. They're not trying to correct my facts, or they're not trying to show me something that's new or different. Then people's opinions are people's opinions. I have them too, but that doesn't mean that everybody has to hear them.
Yeah, so, that's a skill that's hard to learn, especially now. Maybe for the older generation, it might be a little bit easier.
Is it a Gen X thing? We just don't give a shit.
Yeah, your whole identity being online is. Well,
you got to think most of us Gen Xers, we didn't grow up with the internet.
Exactly.
We didn't have the internet until we were adults.
Yeah.
And then by the time the internet realized what they could do to people, I mean, we're middle-aged.
Yeah.
So with this was not a core aspect of us learning about ourselves.
Yeah.
We were pretty self-assured before all of the ability for even the word trolling, for the internet purposes and all of that even existed.
I think it's a culture thing too, because definitely grew up in the culture where if somebody talks shit, you beat their ass or something. Somebody said something about your mom, you beat their ass. It was very physical.
I'm from a different generation where it just didn't. I don't know. I mean, our values and our belief systems didn't have the opinions of outsiders other than the people that you were involved with at school, or, if you went to church, or, Boys and Girls Club, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, sporting teams, things like that. Those were your influences, not random strangers from another state or country on the internet on a screen. So
yeah. So some of the content creation stuff I have gets a little bit controversial, because I do say that I am poly and queer, and I'm more open to different type of things. So kind of non-specifically, there was a game that was based on the queer community that I did a unboxing and a review for. And there were some people that were like, why the fuck would they make a game like this? And I had to have my other channel people help me not react to that. That was actually that was like 6 months ago, and that was my first time actually dealing with that. So yeah, it's definitely a skill to not take that stuff personally and let your ego go. So that, yeah, I'm trying to get used to that. So,
and it comes with time too, because I've also had to teach in front of real people, and not everybody you teach in front of agrees with you, and you can see their reactions in the crowd, or you can see their head shakes, or you can see,
oh my gosh,
you can see all that when you're teaching a class, and you have to be able to roll with it. Or they have no problem coming up to you at the end of the class,
most people,
and voicing their opinions.
But the people that make the assumptions, though, those people,
they sometimes still come up and voice their opinions, and I'm okay with it.
The ones that don't,
I mean, then that's on them.
You got to hear.
I can't take that on.
Yeah, see, that's a skill.
I can't take that on.
That's a skill that takes learning. So I'm gonna have to overcome that. Yeah, that's really so controversial. You said something before we went on the tangent. I said we would come back to it, but now I can't remember what you were talking about before. It had to do with controversy, and then we were going to talk about it. But yeah. Debating, to wrap this up. Don't care about it in real life. Give me your facts. I don't want feelings. I don't give a fuck. You could talk to me about it all you want. I'll give you a blank stare and I'll say,
I take feelings all day long, because feelings come from some fact somewhere. They either come from a fact or they come from an experience.
But they're not
And
facts.
so you don't know because, people's realities can be factual to them.
To them, yeah, but they're not facts.
That we could debate what's a fact.
Yes, you can look it up.
Literally
People have researched it. It's written in a book.
People's perceptions are their realities. And
That's
so if
good
you
for
can
them.
hear their perceptions, then you can hear where their realities are coming from.
I get that. Still not fact.
And if that's when you have the ability to either help other people grow and help yourself grow.
See, facts are different than truths. Truths can be different for different people. Facts are still facts. Gravity is a thing. There are people that don't believe in gravity. They think there's ice walls out there.
I know.
That's the truth to them.
The earth is still flat.
But not facts.
People never walked on the moon.
Yeah.
I get it.
We don't circle the globe. So
I
yeah.
get it.
There's people out there that
Holocaust never existed.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Slavery was a choice.
Yes.
Yeah. All that stuff. So yeah, there's truths. People have their truths, but they're not facts.
Truths, but if you can get to where they actually know where their truths come from.
See, that's different than what I'm talking about. Yeah, because you
but
can.
But to the masses, truths and facts are the same. I'm just warning you.
Yeah, you can.
I'm just warning you.
Yeah, you're speaking truth out there.
Playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, you can
I'm
play.
good at it, aren't I?
Yeah. you're good. You know what I'm saying? You're saying it. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not gonna deal with it in real life. But yeah, on the podcast, a little bit different. Classes, we'll see. I'm still. Yeah, this is why I'm taking my time with it because all that stuff you talked about is gonna be. Man, people come up to me.
It's going to become your reality.
Well, that too. And also I comment on YouTube videos and in Reddit. And the stuff people say, it's like, that wasn't my opinion. That was just a fact. Like I posted it in the one of the lifestyle Facebook groups. And I was like, it was a comment on love languages, which, by the way, I just learned recently from somebody, she's probably listening, that love languages came up from some guy trying to hit on like a 20-year-old or something.
Yes.
That's the whole thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I still feel like, just like with astrology, I don't believe it, but, if you do, let me know why. Whatever it is, Myers-Briggs, what I'm saying? That was a closed system. That's not actually, like, out there for the world. They came up with that, them own selves, whatever university they were at. I don't really care if you believe it or not. Just let me know why. But it was a post on love languages, and I was like, hey, just so you know, love languages are not just what you receive, it's also what you give out. And then people were like, oh, where'd you get that from? I'm not here to do your research for you. I'm just putting it out there so you know. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. It was like, where'd you learn that? No, I'm not doing your research for you. So yeah, that's how I am in real life. But yeah, I'll work on it for the class. And then of course I'll have you there, my consultants.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll pay the consultant
I'll
fee.
drag you off stage when I need to.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. Cause it's definitely going to be controversial. And I'm like, I don't care. But yeah, at the different watering holes that we have around and everywhere. So trying to spread myself out, be multi-dungeral, multi-facilitator.
Wow.
Yeah, all the different
All the
things.
things.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay my seed everywhere. Everybody's gonna know Julius. It's like, Julius is here. You saw the little speckle with the black light, and he was there. Yeah. Okay, so
Gross.
yeah, that's what I'm here for. Old enough for kisses.
Oh, come on. All right, moving on.
I want to do a whole movie segment with you now. We got to go back. Speaking of another tangent before we get into our next segment.
How it's the tangent episode?
Yes,
Is
it's
that
every
what this
episode.
is? Okay.
Rue, I'm going to tell you right now.
I know.
Podcasts are tangents.
Tangents
hear you. Are podcasts.
Yes.
We're going to have to go back through the old movies, 50 Shades of Grey, Secretary. And then there's a couple,
Did you really just put 50 Shades of Grey in the same category as The Secretary?
Sure.
Oh, foul.
Feel free to debate
Throwing
me.
my flag on the field.
Yeah, put the flag down. We'll mark it here. This episode, we're going to talk about this later. You feel free to
Huge penalty.
feel free to debate me. You can debate me later.
Facts.
But yeah, so all these movies plus there's a lot of like Netflix shows and stuff like How to Build a Dungeon and like what the fuck. I have comments about this. This is fucking ridiculous. How the fuck
I love that show.
How are you in your 40s? You have to have somebody else tell you what to put in your dungeon. You realize I've had that list from my 20s? I'm like, oh, shit.
Well,
I've had a dungeon
nice
list.
that you've had that list.
You don't have a dungeon list? You need somebody else to tell you how to build a dungeon in your house?
Just because you have a dungeon list. Now, stop talking a minute. Just because you have a dungeon list doesn't mean that you know how to aesthetically put it together.
Please.
Yours would look like a toddler room if you didn't know what you were doing.
There'd be a toddler corner. Get the fuck out of here. I know woodworking and how to build stuff.
You might, but that doesn't mean everybody does.
But you should know what you want. I can see if you need to buy a contractor and you'd be like, I want this, this, and this in there.
I could say what's the difference between that and
We're supposed to put a flag in this for later, by the way.
Home designer? Or somebody who comes in and remodels homes or decorates.
But you know what you want.
That's what they told her. They told her we want these things.
No, some of those people were like, we like to do this and this and this.
Yes.
What can you put in there?
Yes.
No, I know what I want in mine.
Just because you want it doesn't mean it fits in the space. Doesn't mean it's functional. Doesn't mean it's practical. You can want a lot of things and then you get it in there and it doesn't work.
No, I know it's practical already. I already got my thing. Like I said, I have an opinion. Great debate for later, though, because we definitely have two different sides on that. I know what I like. What the fuck? Okay. Anyways, yes. So I would like to do a whole episode on that, and we can take different shows and movies, and we can debate that stuff.
Sure.
So perfect for a thing that you like, because that's the only time I'm going to do that. Okay. So I was about to say it again.
Don't you do it.
McBee. Call me McBee.
Stop it.
Okay. So backstory. Next segment. Real quick before we finish. I listened to a podcast called Dudes Behind the Foods. It's starring Tim Chantarangsu and David So. They do mostly a food podcast, and they talk about their different life experiences that they had, like daily stuff, getting into almost near collision and children and babies and stuff. But for some reason, they decided to talk about current events. Now, they are entertainment content creators. They don't really do relationships. They don't do any kind of like political stuff, really. They'll comment on it. But I like them because they are very self-aware, even though they're in the content creation space, which is very interesting. They don't have a huge ego. They're really on the whole, I don't really give a fuck what people say. I'm going to do this stuff because I have fun with it. And as Rue can see, they are Asian, so I have a certain thing with that as well. But I wanted to talk about this specifically because they are talking about the Jonah Hill situation. Now, if you don't know about the Jonah Hill situation, you can look it up yourself, but I'll give you a quick summary. He had a girlfriend that he enforced boundaries on, and he has been doing therapy for a while. But he decided to use therapy words, which is a thing now with the culture, even though he's like old, but even the newer culture now, they are therapizing. What is it called? Hold on. Let me look this up in the thing. He accused his ex-girlfriend of emotional abuse because of him enforcing boundaries on her that were a little bit ridiculous. So we're going to talk about how to properly enforce boundaries because we talked about it in a group episode. I talked about it on a Pillow Fort episode, but it was interesting, their take on it. And then the whole Jonah Hill situation. Hopefully some people know what's going on. But she decided after they broke up to post their text messages, their couple's text messages, what had been going on between the two of them. But the hot buttons is he tried to enforce boundaries that were ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. And he was using therapy words. I forgot what phrase they said it was. Oh, weaponizing therapy talk. So basically what he was doing was going into therapy, and this is very triggering for me because I personally had this thing go on in my personal life where somebody claimed they were going to therapy, but then they like left the lifestyles because of me. And it's like, you need to go back and talk to your therapist because I can't make you do anything. So he was blamed for weaponizing therapy talk. So he went to therapy and was like, my therapist said this and you're doing this. This is what you did to me. So that's a big thing now with the culture. People going to therapy being like, hey, I've gone to therapy. I know these things now because my therapist said so. You're a narcissist. And it's like, can't do that. You can't diagnose people. You're not a certified professional. But my therapist said these traits are a narcissist, so that makes you a narcissist. So, yeah, that's basically what happened in this whole thing.
So why are we talking about it?
Because it has to do with boundaries, and we talked about boundaries before.
Okay.
I like those guys, but they got them a little bit wrong. Plus, also, this is like a practice segment, trying to do more articles and reacting to them.
Okay.
So
And just for the listeners, like I go into these blind, so I don't know what this is about until I get in here. So you're getting like the raw, what the fuck's going on thing.
yeah, so it was. So
So are we going to listen to them talk about it?
We're gonna
Is
listen
that
and
what we're
talk to
doing?
it. It's only like a few minutes. So I just want to give the backstory to you and to everybody else that hasn't heard about it. But it was a pretty big deal when it came out.
Okay.
So basically, he enforced boundaries on her, and like, if you don't do these boundaries, I'm gonna leave you. He pretty much texted her plain and simply his boundaries, and his boundaries were surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate relationships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful. If I'm not the right partner for you, if these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for a romantic relationship.
Partnership.
Romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm out.
Yeah, she stayed and was like, hey, I'll take the pictures off of Instagram.
Well, then she can't complain about anything. She stayed.
Yes. Also, this lady, Sarah Brady, before he even met her, she was a surfing model, and he decided to put these boundaries on her.
But she chose to stay. She agreed to those boundaries.
Yeah, she was working on them, and then he kept enforcing them. So,
yes. He presented his boundaries. This is what I'm willing to have as a partner.
mm-hmm.
And she agreed and stayed.
Yeah.
And then he enforced them. How is that weaponizing therapy talk?
Because he was saying different things that he's not qualified to say as a non-certified professional. This is different than the weaponizing.
The boundaries.
Yeah, there's more text messages.
Okay, so there's more to it than just that.
Yeah, but that's how it started. He enforced boundaries on her, which is...
He shared the boundaries that he needed from a partner.
Yeah.
She agreed to them, and then he enforced them. He reinstated them.
Yeah, basically
so
he used...
that's not on him.
Yeah. He used...
That's not on him. What's the difference between that and negotiation? If we're going to go into a scene and I say, here are the boundaries that I have with the people that I scene with, and you go, okay, yeah, I can live with that. I agree to that. And then we're in the scene and I enforce those boundaries. You can't look at me and get pissed off and accuse me of anything, because you knew from the get-go what my boundaries were, and you agreed to them. So,
okay. Basics of boundaries, and I'm pretty sure we talked about it before, but we'll go over it again here. You can't enforce boundaries on somebody else.
That's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
You're not you can enforce boundaries that have been previously agreed to. You can't go to a new partner and say, I have these boundaries and you have to abide by them because now we're in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would hope that whoever you said that to would be like, yeah, that's not for me. That's not something we're negotiating. I'm not about that. Thanks for playing. And walk away. I agree. You can't do that. You shouldn't do that. But if you go to a person and say, I have these boundaries, and I know in order for me to be in a successful, healthy relationship, I need these boundaries to exist. And you go, those sound reasonable. I can agree to those. And then after that agreement, you enforce those. Hey, you know, I told you I have this boundary and this thing that you're doing is crossing it. I need you to not do that. You're enforcing a boundary that's been agreed upon. There's nothing wrong with that. The person had the ability to disagree or agree. They had the ability at that moment to say, yes, I agree to these boundaries, or no, I don't agree with them. I'll either counteract them with this or thanks for playing and walk away. They chose to stay.
Mm-hmm.
So you aren't enforcing things on people who didn't consent to it.
Okay. And then let's take a look at what they said.
This is after she agreed, though.
Yes.
So she agreed to all these boundaries, is what you're saying.
I don't know. So this article I'm reading off of BuzzFeed News. It's Jonah Hill's ex-celebrity just shared a load with emotional abuse and weaponizing therapy talk. So, from the article, from what I read, just to make it really concise, because we don't have to go into the deep thing, and of course, if you campsters know more about it than we do, good for you. I didn't really go into it super big. I'm just worried more about the boundary thing and then like a lesson from it. So that's why I am putting it in our podcast. But from what I'm seeing, he gave her these boundaries after they were together. He didn't do.
But she still agreed. She stayed.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
She is a willing participant in this relationship. She wasn't chained to a wall. She wasn't kidnapped. She had free will. And in her free will, she read these in text. So this isn't even a conversation in person. I'm sure it was a conversation in person, but he even put it in writing. And you're telling me that she agreed to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yes.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So no, why is it a controversy that he held her to the boundaries that he needed for a healthy relationship that she agreed to? Now, if in this conversation that they had, he gaslit her, or he manipulated her into agreeing, or she was in a diminished state, any of these other things, then of course she wasn't able to consent to what she wasn't able to consent to any of these boundaries.
Yeah. So in
but
the
you're
article,
not saying nobody in this is saying that's the case.
Yeah. Apparently there was.
So you know what this sounds like to me? She's got buyer's remorse.
A little bit. She claims there was a little bit of gaslighting in here. There's obviously a lot more details.
There's always going to be more details than what you're
details.
going to get from a text message.
Also, she posted a text message on here, but you don't know what they actually talked about. And
you
a lot
don't
of
know
this,
what was before the text message. You don't know what happened after. You don't know what was happening in person. How many times have you seen people get into a full-blown argument in person, and then on text it's like minimal? But it's referencing the argument.
Yes. So
you don't know that that's what's happening.
Reminding people that, you only get screenshots. And this article has a lot of the Instagram posts that you put of their screenshots. And that can be, you're not getting the whole conversation. Okay. So, yes. Good points by Rue. Let's listen to what they say.
You're just rhyming now. Whoa. Damn.
This is episode 94 of Dudes Behind the Foos. There's a couple of podcasts that Tim and David are on. They have their own personal podcasts and everything like that.
You know what I wanted to ask you about? Also,
Wait. That was probably one of the best ones we've done in a long time.
That was really good.
Okay, go on.
So, I wanted to bring this on the previous podcast, but sometimes we drink and I forget to bring it up.
Yeah.
But, so, there was that thing of a text conversation between Jonah Hill and his ex-girlfriend that went viral.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, right? And so, it was about him setting a boundary, quote unquote, with that girl about her, wearing, revealing clothes or going out with men? Which one was it?
It was both.
It was both, right?
Taking, bikini pics on Instagram, hanging out with guys, a bunch of stuff,
Yeah, and so when I saw this, I thought that I would have a clear-cut idea of what was going on.
Right.
And I just looked at it and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And everybody was kind of going back and forth about it. There was more people who were very sure about their side, and there was very rare people like me where I was like, I see that, but then I don't see that.
Yeah, I kind of went both ways. I pivoted a bit after kind of really looking at it, right? Initially, I read it, and I was like, she's tripping. He said, these are my boundaries. This is what I like, or this is what I will tolerate. If you don't like that, you can peace out, right? I'm like, he set his boundaries. But then if you really look at it, it's like it was just kind of saying jealous shit with the terminology of these are my boundaries, right? If you take out the technical words of like, these are my boundaries and shit, it's just him being like, hey, don't hang out with guys. Don't post bikini pictures or I'm going to dump you.
Yeah, ho.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it kind of sounds like.
But that has
what it
nothing
is,
to
right?
do with jealousy. I mean, it might for him. That might be why he has those boundaries. He might have those boundaries because he knows he struggles with jealousy. So he would rather be upfront in the very beginning and say, in order for me, what I'm hearing in all of this is him saying, in order for me to be in a healthy, stable relationship, I need this from my partner. Why is that quote unquote therapy talk? That's what we want everybody to strive for. We want everybody to be able to look at their partner and say, here is what I'm bringing to the table, and here is what I need in order to be in a healthy, productive relationship from my partner. This is what I can bring, and this is what I need. Why wouldn't everybody want that? And then once you agree to it, one of two things happen. You either live in a healthy, productive, communicative relationship, or you don't. You look at the person and go, it doesn't match. Or there's the third option where you are in NRE or, new relationship energy, or you're just so excited about the things that you agree to it. And then when you're actually living in the reality of it, you're like, that son of a bitch. I can't believe that you're this controlling, and I can't believe that you're making me do this. And I didn't think that you were real, and I didn't think that all of that could be real. That's buyer's remorse. That's on you. That's not on the person who set the boundaries. They haven't changed. They didn't bait switch you. They were up front. So either accept it and live in those boundaries in a very happy, productive relationship. Say thank you, no thank you, and walk away before you even start, knowing that it's not compatible from the beginning. Or put yourself in a situation where you now have buyer's remorse, and now who's really weaponizing therapy talk? The person who got caught trying to get out and justify why they should get out, and so making it all about the person that set the boundaries from the get-go? Fuck that.
I like your fire.
No.
It's very good.
Yeah.
But he's saying...
But see, that's
Hey,
the
these are my
problem. I'm going to stop because that's a problem we're having in a lot of the kink communities right now.
Yes.
Is people negotiate scenes.
Yes.
And they say, these are my boundaries in the scene, and you can do these things. And so the person goes, yes, I can do these things. They agreed, I can do these things. And then they get into the scene and they do the things. And then the people go about their separate ways. And the person who said, yes, you can do those things goes, I didn't really like that. That's not how I thought it was going to be. That did not turn out how I thought it was going to be. It was way different in my head. You violated my consent because I don't like it. I feel violated now that it happened. Well, okay, you can feel violated that it happened, but you agreed to it. You set the boundary. The person just followed what you said they could do. Buyer's remorse.
Yep.
But all people hear is consent violation. All people hear is weaponizing therapy talk. He's trying to be controlling. They hear the negative thing about the person and not the situation that brought it up. 9 times out of 10, when you get down to it, you realize that that consent violation that happened is a misinterpretation or misunderstanding of the boundaries that everybody agreed to. That was gross.
Yes.
But this is no different. This is no different.
Yep.
Boundaries, I would appreciate if you didn't post bikini pictures. I appreciate if you wouldn't hang out with guys. It makes me feel this way, blah, blah, blah. And that sounds very like, oh, okay, yeah, he's in touch and he's communicating. But then if you take all those fancy words away, he's just saying, don't post bikini pictures.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And there's
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
wrong with him saying don't post bikini pictures. What's wrong is for him to say, hey, in order to be in a relationship with you, I need my partner. In order to be in a relationship, I need my partner to not do these things. I need them to not hang out with guys. I need them to not post pictures of themselves in bikinis. I need them to not be around friends that are not a good influence on them. And you go, oh, he cares so much. Oh, yes, I will totally be that way. You care so much. I appreciate that you're looking out for me. And then she goes to the beach with her friends and posts a picture because they're having a great time and they're having a drink. And then he goes, hey, you said you weren't going to post a picture. And then he asks her to take it down. What's the first thing she's going to do? Go tell her girlfriends. Go tell her friends. Oh, my God, you're not going to believe it. I had to take the picture down because, I was in my bikini. Well, no, he doesn't like that. Oh, he's so controlling. You should. Oh, my gosh, that's so abusive. And then she never looks at the friends and goes, well, no, I actually agreed to it. He said in the very beginning I shouldn't do that. There are some women that will defend their man, the ones that are in the healthy relationship because accidents happen. Not the ones with buyer remorse.
I like this. This is a good segment.
And that's when I was like, okay, he's tripping. And that was, and I love Jonah Hill.
Yeah. I think the thing that I don't like about sometimes when people talk about boundaries, I have boundaries as well, right? My boundaries are, we're pretty fucking loosey-goosey guys, so it's not very much.
Yeah.
But like, boundaries, what I don't like is when somebody says a boundary and they just go, just because. I fucking hate that. You better explain why.
And see, this was my point. I agree with them so much, but it's like you don't have to explain your boundaries. You actually don't. So the thing with boundaries
But there's a difference between explaining and if I'm truly your partner and you say
you should want to.
And you say to me, I have a boundary where I don't want you posting pictures of yourself in a bikini. My first question is going to be, well, where did that come from?
Yeah, see, if you're...
Not why, as in I'm trying to get out of the boundary or I'm trying to convince you that it's a stupid boundary. But if I can understand why that's a boundary for you, then that's more understanding for you. And I can be like, okay, that makes sense. I get that. No. And then that might have something to do with my opinion on whether or not I choose to follow it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be more like if you're doing it because
it just sounds weird when you say it like that.
Okay, so if you say, I have a boundary with my partners doing rope scenes with other people besides me. And I would be like, okay, like, but can you tell me why? Like, is there a reason why? Is it just a personal preference?
So I see what you're saying.
I'm just trying to understand.
Right.
And if you look at me and go, it's just a personal preference, there's no other reason why, then I can make the decision, okay, that makes sense. I can honor that. Or you know what? I don't understand it. And so because I don't understand it, I don't know that this is for me. But if you look at me and say, I have past trauma with partners getting hurt by other people and I wasn't able to help them. And so now, I just mediate that with saying, I'd rather you only do rope with me. So that, because I have a very bad past with people that I have been partners with getting hurt by other people. Or you've been hurt by other people in rope. And so it's a trust issue that you have. Then I could be like, that makes sense. Okay, I get it. It's not about me. It's about things that you are working through or getting through. Yes, I can abide by that. Or, you know what? I'm not the partner for you because I enjoy doing rope with other people besides you. And I don't know that I can live with that. But it gives you a different perspective on sometimes why the boundary is there. Correct. There's a distinct difference between talking about boundaries with a potential life partner or a partner in general and talking about non-negotiables or boundaries within a scene with a one-off or a play partner. To me, those are two totally different things.
And as your chief negotiation officer, I say you can negotiate boundaries in any situation.
Always negotiate them. However, if I'm doing a scene with you, like we're just doing a scene, pickup play, right? And you're telling me, I don't do needles. Don't put a needle near me. I don't need to know why. It doesn't matter why. You just said don't do it, so I'm not going to do it. You're going to, I need you to not touch my butt. I don't need to know why. I just need to know not touch your butt. But if I'm building a relationship with you, if I'm trying to be a partner to you, I'm going to be more curious as to why, because I'm trying to learn you. It tells me a lot about you. Doesn't mean that I'm wanting to violate it. Doesn't mean that I'm trying to push you out of it or convince you why you shouldn't have it. It just helps me learn about you.
I would say both situations you can ask why, but you don't.
Play partner, I don't give a shit why. You told me not to do it, I won't do it.
Yeah, I can say, yeah.
I don't have that much energy to invest in that.
Yeah, like I said, you can choose not to. You can ask why or not ask why, and then they, in both situations, don't have to say why, and then you can go.
No,
from
and
there.
they really don't.
Yeah.
And that's still
they're not obligated to answer that question.
Exactly, and ultimately, with this situation, she chose to move forward. She chose to move forward.
Yep.
Ultimately, that's where the line stops with me. She chose to continue the conversation. And she chose to continue the relationship.
Yep.
And then after the fact, didn't like it. Two totally different situations.
Yep.
Your boundary.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You can't just be like, this is my boundary. If you don't respect it, you don't respect me. Fuck off.
Yes.
It's like, no. You don't respect me because you don't even care enough to explain why this bothers you. Because we're not coming to an understanding. So now at that point, you're just saying, fuck off if you don't do this.
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? Like, that's what I felt.
I think that's what it is. I think it's kind of in a way you're weaponizing these new age terms.
Yeah.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. They're not weaponizing it. Jonah Hill was that's the epitome of communication right there. It's the epitome of communication. This is where I stand on this, and this is what I know I need.
Yes. So yeah, this is a big thing in society where
now, do people weaponize
misinformed.
therapy talk?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
They get a little bit of therapy. They learn a lot of terminology. They read a book, and then they turn around and they try to apply it to everybody that they meet and everybody they have interactions with. That's not what we're talking about here. That's not what this subject's about.
I felt like, I don't know. When I said a boundary for something, right, I feel like it's a boundary in terms of what I want to achieve in a relationship that'll make it better for both of us.
Yeah.
Right? So if he had said, and I'm not sure if this is acceptable for a lot of people, but he goes like, listen, like, I feel that when we're in a committed relationship together, like, it makes me feel uncomfortable when you do this, because obviously it's a system where there's likes and stuff, and it seems like you're wanting attention from other people that you don't need it from.
Okay.
And for me, it makes me feel uncomfortable, and I want us to be in a strong relationship. If you don't feel that way, let's talk about it.
Word.
And then maybe you can convince me otherwise.
Right, because when you say boundaries, it's like you said, it's this cut and dry situation where it's like, do this or I'm out, right?
Yeah.
Where he also could have been like, look, man, when you do this, because I'm an insecure dude,
It makes me feel this way.
I'm super jealous, I'm insecure, we got to figure this out, right? As opposed to being like, look, these are my boundaries. And plus, I don't know if you knew this part, but she was like, she was a surf model. So posting bikini pictures is part of her job.
Then he shouldn't have been
I didn't
with
even
her.
fucking know.
Exactly.
Then he shouldn't have picked her as a partner.
And she shouldn't agree to.
And she shouldn't have agreed to
his
it.
boundaries.
That.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing ever.
Where it's like he probably found her because of bikini pictures.
Yeah, and this goes back to what we were saying. It's like, listen, if you found her attractive because of that, what makes you say that other people won't either?
Right.
So maybe what you're looking for is a Puritan.
Yeah, exactly, dog. Exactly. And that's where people fuck up too. It's like if you meet somebody for these reasons, then you have no right to be like, don't do this anymore. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incorrect too. Yeah, so you meet different people in different places, but if you say a boundary and they agree to it, it's like what they do doesn't matter. It doesn't, like, their background, It does. It doesn't. It doesn't. That part doesn't matter.
I had no fucking. That's kind of funny. It's like she's a chef. He goes, "Hey man, I know that at the restaurant you be cooking for people and stuff, but that makes me super. That's a boundary.
I
for
don't
me.
appreciate that. It's my boundaries.
You should only be cooking for me because I'm your man."
That's a fire analogy because that's exactly what it is.
I don't fucking get it, Jonah Hill. That makes no fucking sense.
I know.
And then sometimes I feel like when people overuse boundaries like that, you know, where they kind of go, well, if you don't have this bound, blah, 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 it's like, fuck you. And I actually hear a lot of online anyways. I'm not sure if it's in person, but a lot of girls do that online. Like these super, I say like, these are like toxic females where they just go, this is my fucking boundary, fuck you. And like, okay, but you don't want to have a conversation with the person that you're in and explain how you got to that conclusion or what you can do to become better, right? Like I don't understand how that works.
That's the issue, man. I think a lot of people take these new like hot terms and then they kind of abuse it. You feel me?
Or
it's like, let's
maybe
say,
what some of these, what they're accusing women of being toxic traits of, maybe women are saying that because they have been hurt in the past and they don't want to have to talk about it.
And also, you don't have to stay.
And why are these men so offended? Oh my gosh, how dare these men get rejected by a woman that they're interested in? How dare she have boundaries that doesn't fit his agenda and it rejects him? So now it's the woman's fault that she's got boundaries that she doesn't have to explain to anybody, but she's the bad guy because it does. Oh, good Lord. That's a whole different subject. That's a whole different subject because now they're turning boundaries around and because women are enforcing them, it's now crazy. But when Jonah was enforcing it, now oh my God. He
was like, yo, these are my boundaries. You suck my dick every night. That's my boundary. I can't do this anymore. Yeah. You feel me?
They're being ridiculous.
It's like that's what you're doing. You're saying, hey, look, I just want to communicate this to you. These are my boundaries. You suck my dick every night. I nut on your face. If you can't meet these boundaries, that's cool, but I gotta get out of this relationship.
It's like,
then there's the
you said it
door.
really soft in a nice tone.
Then there's the door.
Yeah,
and it's not the woman's fault for letting him walk out the door.
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10, you know what's going to happen? The man ain't going to walk out the door.
No.
That's controversial. How about that? I got controversial for you.
If you don't let me shove my dick down your throat, then
now they're just being
I feel
ridiculous.
Like
it's beyond debatable at this point. It's so past the original topic. It's not even.
So that's pretty much it. So unfortunately, God, it's so tough because in the cisgendered, mononormative society at large, this is the normal thinking, which makes you very sad. So yeah, I think as alternative or taboo podcasters, as they like to say that we are, in these different lifestyles, I don't want to say duty. I know it's my focus to put the information out there. Like, hey, I realize this is the cultural norm, but that's not how it works. And it's like, this is why I wanted to have this conversation, because this is actually how boundaries should work. And it's like, you have boundaries, you can set them. And also another reason is because like Reddit and like Reddit, polyamory and non-monogamy and polyfidelity and BDSM, all have these questions on there. I have my boundaries broken. What do I do?
You walk away.
Or my partner enforced these boundaries 15 years into our marriage. And it's like,
they can't enforce something you don't agree to.
Yeah, they just kind of set these boundaries. And it's like, what do I do?
You're not, like, this isn't modern day slavery. No, that's not how this works. I don't care if you're in a 20-year marriage. If somebody looks at you and says, in order for me to be in a healthy, productive marriage with you, you need to start doing these things. And I go, yeah, that doesn't work for me. We're no longer married.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough. Like literally when I read was the guy in the marriage, is because it's men and women, the guy got a partner and he's like, I want you to meet my partner, to his wife that wanted like not coffee shop, parallel poly.
No.
He
No.
was like,
it's not happening.
I'll have to leave you if you don't meet my partner now.
Then bye. I'll pack your bag. Which luggage would you like to take?
Yeah.
I prefer to keep this one. It works for me.
Yeah, it's rough on there because I want to comment on all this stuff, but it's literally over and over and over again. And she was asking what she should do at that point.
Leave. Pack his stuff for him.
Man. So yeah, I hope through this podcast that we get it out there, and the people that are listening, campsters, you realize this. You can just leave. You can just leave.
You don't have to agree to it. Just because they say they're enforcing it, they can't enforce anything you don't agree to. They can't. That's like saying, I'm going to be in a power exchange with my partner, and I'm going to enforce all of this power exchange stuff on my partner. I can't take power from somebody like that.
Can you explain power exchange real quick?
It's power exchange. It's authority exchange. It's when one person gives up authority of certain aspects of their life to another person. So as a dominant, you're assuming the authority that the submissive is giving you, right? Of certain aspects of negotiated aspects of their life. You negotiate all
Hopefully.
the authority exchanges between the two of you. I can't enforce shit they're not willing to submit to. It's as simple as that. You can't enforce it.
This is the thought might be simple. The fact that people don't know about it is the not simple part.
When you start enforcing things that people don't agree to, that's abuse. You're not in an abusive relationship.
Yep. And unfortunately, that's in the Reddit as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, my partner did this thing, or we did some CNC scene, and I didn't feel comfortable with it, and I did it anyway. It broke my boundaries. What do I do? It's like, first of all,
First of all, I'd
no
be like,
contact.
well, what kind of boundaries did you have in a CNC scene? That's the whole point of CNC.
Well, no, I'm on the firm belief that you can negotiate stuff.
You can negotiate CNC.
Yes.
You can have boundaries within CNC, but that would be my first question is, what were the boundaries you had within CNC?
And also, it was like one of the scenes was in the middle of CNC, they said no, but it's like, it's a CNC scene. And it's like...
But did they negotiate the no's?
Yeah, that's part.
That's a whole different... CNC is a whole different topic.
But yeah, so to finish this up, you have boundaries. They're negotiated.
And you can
We're
always
adults.
walk away.
You can always walk away. Also, the typical by the book, as they say, the codependency books and all these things. You set a boundary. The typical thing is once it's violated, first you go no contact, and then second of all, you leave the situation. So you don't have to explain your boundaries. If somebody asks why, you don't have to say why.
You don't have to. But depending on what you are discussing and what the boundaries are for, healthy conversation might not be a bad thing. It might go a long way to understanding.
Yeah, you got to figure out who you're dealing with. But
Right.
it's fully in your prerogative to go no contact. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to give any reaction, because if you are dealing with a toxic person, they will use those reactions against you. So no contact means gray rocking, giving no reaction whatsoever. And then after that, even after that, anytime you can just leave. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to say. Unfortunately, like I said, this is like the cultural norm. In these situations, it's like you say what a boundary is, and then outside people can give their opinion on if it's crazy or not. So,
well, what's even crazier to me about this whole situation is then she posted it online.
Yep.
Seriously?
Yep.
She posted all of that online.
Yep. Well, he's a celebrity. He should be used to that.
All because she agreed to something that she eventually didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
Yep. That's why I want to be the chief negotiation officer. I want to be there for these negotiations.
Riled up.
Yeah, I like this. We're going to keep these segments in, folks. We're going to surprise Miss Rue with all this stuff that's out there in the normal thing.
Getting too old for this. Oh my gosh.
We're going to do more of these segments because I got more nationally podcasts and TV shows and all these different things that have all this. These are millions of subscribers on these things. Millions of subscribers. And they take this knowledge and they're certified sex coaches and they do these different things. Like your guy that you showed me before. Oh God. Yeah, that was triggering. So, but these people are out there. They're content creators. They have millions of subscribers and followers. All these people. And that's the norm. But of course, they're all cisgendered, mononormative people.
Yep.
Ask me if I found a queer person.
Probably not a single damn one.
Ask me if I found a non-monogamous person.
Not a single damn one. But are you looking on the right platforms?
I'm looking at all the different platforms. They're on there. Like, you know, we have What's the Safe Word that's out there. They're not millions of subscribers yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're out there, but they're just people have their biases, so they don't listen. But yeah, so all those different things.
All right.
So we've triggered Rue enough. So we're gonna call it a night. This is the Kinky Campfire podcast.
This is Rue.
Around the Kinky Campfire.
Thank you for saying it correctly.
Around the Kinky Campfire podcast.
This is Rue.
Hold on.
No, I'm just saying it because I'm done.
Come join us on Kinky Campsters Instagram. Let us know what you think, and then tell us, you know, if you have any questions or any things. Hopefully, we said something very controversial, and you agree or disagree. Also, if you know anything about the Jonah Hill situation, a lot of the kink content creators are commenting on this situation, and like
Good.
Andrew Tate and like Marilyn Manson and all those different things. So I was like, let's try this all out.
Yeah.
If you know anything about it, but I like your reactions. We're gonna keep it in there. We're working on current events, people. Pop culture. We're getting out there, learning the different things. But if you enjoyed this, please go to Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, all those different platforms, and give us a 5-star rating. Download. I see you people downloading. That's the main metric I have. We will be putting out episodes every second and fourth Thursdays of the month with some pillow fort sessions in there. Rue's going to join me eventually. And hopefully you enjoyed that version. But please, please, please let us know what you think. We'd like some subscribers on
absolutely.
IG. Yeah, we'd like questions.
I love the feedback.
Oh, if we can have like a people's court type thing and just have, oh God, that'd be great. Just like the Playboy channel had that too, a little court session. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be like you got to masturbate your partner as a punishment. Yeah, that's your parole.
Oh my God,
yeah, that was the punishment. But anyways, around the Kinky Vampire, this is Big B.
Don't do it.
Or Julius, if you
there
prefer.
There you go. Thank you.
And with me is
This is Rue.
once again. Hello.
Goodbye.